Okay. I think we are ready. Well, hello everybody. We are good to go. Hi. First live stream. It's kind of crazy. Not quite freaking out, but yeah, it's definitely a new thing for me. So I guess we'll just we'll see how things go. But yeah, just starting playing off with my canvas, and just get to it. Yeah, let's grab a whole bunch of paint. I did not prepare or set up the water and canvas and all of that. I do have a big old wad of tissue paper behind me to clean up everything wrong that happens, but we'll see what happens. So I'm just loading up with, like, the base colors. It's nothing too crazy. All the primaries, blue, yellow, red. Not really sweating. Although, to begin with, we're gonna want a lot of yellow and a lot of white for a nice sky. Just a little red. Too much. Oh, well, we're all set up here. Oh yeah, that's you guys. Dot in the middle of nowhere. Let's start with... I've never really paid attention to any, like, the specific brushes are, but, I don't know, it says number 1, it's a big flat brush, so with the flat brush we start. Actually, gonna keep this damp, and actually make nice orange. I'm actually gonna pull a bunch of that to the side, just a little bit of red. Just a bit. It looks like McDonald's colors now, but we'll get something nice. Cute little orange color. Pull in a little white. Make it stand out a little less. Oh, there we go. I normally have a piece of paper underneath all these things, so it's more of a... I get a whole bunch of screeching and scratching and all that with this, but either way, we're good. Just segment a small amount of this off to the side, because we're going to make that a little more red. But we'll deal with that later. Again, tons and tons and tons of paper towels. I'll try not to get any on my computer. Yeah, let's actually start with a bit of water, and then we're actually gonna start with the darker red up top. Red, orange, not sweating it too much. And hopefully, I angled this easel to be all angled perfectly so the light doesn't absolutely blind everybody. That was my mistake the last time I tried this, and nobody had a good time. That's the long and short of that. But I think we'll just put a bunch of that on there. And smear, a very technical term. Smear a whole bunch of slightly less intense color all down the back there. And because it's acrylic, we gotta go fast, Sonic. Got to go fast. Down a little more. Not too worried about texture or anything yet. Me, I don't know. I'm a simple man. If the color is on there, it's It's really kind of good enough, wouldn't you say? But either way, here we are, seeing a bit of yellow. Just whatever's on the palette, I'm not too picky about color matching or color theory. It's just a little lighter towards the bottom. Sunset is happening, and less so. Let's go upwards. Mix in a little more yellow there. Nothing too crazy. That should be fine. Yep. Alright. Let's just get all this off of here. I always make the mistake of accidentally like forgetting to leave off parts of the paint, but here we are, and I mean, so well, there's nothing on it now, so I'll take that as a victory. Usually there's like a little streak of white or black in there that I just forget to get. And every time. Alright, well, we're actually gonna let that dry. While we do that, we can probably do mountains. Mountains, or maybe a forest at the base there. Like a big mountain here. Maybe channel our inner Bob Ross. But either way, we start with a few. I say, losing my train of thought. Yeah, let's just start with a little flat brush. Not really sure what I'm gonna do with it quite yet. Wet it. I have two jars here. I have the nasty paint water and then just clear water, just to dampen things or clean things off. It's very, very convenient. I tell you what, I have a teeny tiny bit of this beginner paint set, so I'm just gonna plank a whole bunch of brown onto here. Because why not? Why not? So, get to mixing some of that. Like a little nubbin of white. Sort of smush it in there. Just a bit. The brown is really, really dark, so I'm not too worried about it going all that light. If I leave it just a nice little mixture, I don't really care that much about it being perfectly mixed. Oh well. It's whatever. But yeah, here we are. And let's get to drawing. Drawing, painting, what's the difference? It's all pictures on the canvas, right? Either way, dropped a brush. Knew it was gonna happen. At least this one doesn't have paint on it. But either way. Oh, what the heck. I'm thinking big mountain off to the side. A little range coming up this way. Let's just go for it. Just go for a big old mountain here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be the biggest or the strongest or the most pleasing of shapes. Maybe a little messed up. And start dragging some paint downward. This is mostly dry by this point. It's a very thin layer of acrylic that, and also I have the fan running. Can't hear it through the microphone, but that's also moving some air through here. So we're just gonna make our thing how we want. And it's a little difficult to see on camera, but I'm doing these big, broad strokes, and then with the occasional yank and pull down of a different direction. Just making it do whatever. And actually, I'm gonna take a little tap of black into here. And let's say the sun's coming from this way, so we're actually gonna start making some definition here. A few different shapes. There we go. A bit finicky at first, just making a mountain out of nothing, but there we go. Some shape's coming out. I'm not gonna stress it too much. Stressing is the exact opposite of what I like to do. Well, it happens anyway. But just start dragging bits and pieces of this downward, little by little. Wet paper is actually already fighting me. I'm used to that by now, but you know, it doesn't stop getting annoying. A little more brown. Let's just fill in some spaces here. Downward. Pull downward and out. And it comes back up again a little bit. I don't know. Either way. A whole ass mountain. Mountain image. That's what we'll call it. And just pull it downward. This one, I don't actually mind leaving all sort of dark. Let's just say everything's on this side of the sun. The only part that's really peeking out is the tall mountain part. Maybe we'll leave it like that. Just a bit brown, a bit dark. Not quite blending it, but I am leaving in these shapes, these lines. There we go. Nice and neat. Yeah. That's not so bad. I did pull away a bit of paint. So this way. And what the heck? Some more paint. It's a bit thicker. It's gonna take a little longer to dry before I can put on the next piece of it, but that's alright. Got a whole bunch of detail to put down at the bottom now. I can work with that. I can work with that. Put that downward. A little spot of orange in there. Okay. A couple more details. Nice. Huh. I'm looking at that on camera. What I'm seeing is a whole bunch of smudgy bits and a whole bunch of lines and a bunch of scrappy bits here, but that doesn't look half bad on camera. Maybe I should lower the resolution in life more often. Either way, here we are. Get that off. I'm not gonna do any paintbrush whacking here today. Well, we'll grab that in clean water. Just let that rest for a little bit. And so, what to do? Right. We need clouds. What the heck is a sky without clouds? Clouds without clouds. Let's actually grab a whole bunch of this blue in the corner. Maybe all the rest of this red. Little orange got in there, but well. Ooh, we are getting a lot more red. I want a nice light purple, like almost lavendery. I guess we'll see. Just pull from that pile of white down there. Either way, oh boy, here I go a-mixing. It's a little difficult to see on this black palette full of glass. So just adding some white and see how blue that is. Damn it. But getting something interesting. And you know, I can work with blue clouds. Who said that blue clouds were illegal? You know what? I think we'll be alright. Yeah. This color... Well, I mean, I say this color. You can't see it on the... It's so dark. I also don't want to make too much paint, too. This is a little doozy. Thinking ahead. It's a skill that I don't have today. But, you know what? Let's actually wipe off this paint. I mean, it's also my fault for having such an unreasonably large clod of blue. That's me playing myself. But either way, I think we can work with this. So, let's grab our old friend the fan bush. One of my favorites. Clean water. Clean water. Damp. So this color is actually darker, I believe, than regular phthalo blue. So I might actually just a whole bunch of that on either side of the fan. Huh. I've learned my lesson from last time. I'm actually gonna pull a whole bunch of that off of the fan because I want this to be a little more wispy than other paint strokes. Well, actually just gonna lift upward with a bit of dark paint things here. This is gonna be the bottom of a cloud. And it'll be a whole bunch of nice wispy white parts there. Just a small one here. Lift it upward. Just a bit. It does look like someone's eyelashes kind of fell off, but either way, it's alright. Another segment of it on top. Let's just start with that. Grab. Same brush. Didn't clean it all that well. Grab a clod of white. Don't mix that in. Maybe this is yeah, it should be fun. And pull it a little bit. It's not all anything. Ooh, and you know what? Maybe this will be very nice, nicely layered with some white underneath. The top, actually. Let's see, underneath. It's me trying to get technical. So it's a little awkward for me to fix the bit of this cloud. I'm just going to lift these so that the bottoms start getting wispy inside of one another, reaching upwards. There we go. Something like that. I'm not too worried. The edge a little bit. This tall cloud. Who cares? A little bit of a dark framing the light parts underneath. Get some detailing inside of these things. There we go. Yeah, the angle looks a little weird, but I think they turned out okay. Something like that. Well, these fluffy clouds. As fluffy as that new Growlithe from the Pokemon trailer. I mean, I'm a Growlithe enthusiast in general, but oh man, show that new evolution. Man, new evolutions, new forms. I know they're just repackaging the same old Pokemon, but man, does it get me every single time. Sucker in my mid-20s who keeps buying all the Pokemon stuff. It's me, everyone. I did it. So, let's, maybe we add one more of them off to the side around here later. Either way, the important part is that all the sky is dry, and then damn near all the mountain is dry. Which is good, because I didn't know what the heck I was gonna do with it if a whole bunch of my greens got mixed into there. But either way, let's get creative. So this is actually a problem. Forest green, or hooker green. That's it's a little I don't know about that. The important part is it's all gone, which is incredibly awkward. But either way, maybe I'll put it out in the middle here, and then I guess we'll see about working with what we've got. Oh, it's actually a decent amount left. Huh. Either way, you know, these starter kits lasted a very long time, surprisingly. I put that away. But yeah, I wasn't expecting it to last. Either way, I'm actually in the mood for some very teeny tiny little trees. So, I mean, I like snowy mountains, but this is gonna be one of those boring, not so, not as snowy mountains. More brown and ominously gray, like the ones near my place, the ones that I can see from my house. For me, I'm in California, fairly near the coast, in like the Bay Area-ish, San Francisco Bay Area. Nothing too crazy. I don't get miraculously amazing views, but that's something I can work with. I guess to start with, let me grab a bit of black here and see how well this smears in together with some green. Oh, actually, you know what? I take a bit of black on one side and then a bit of vermilion greenish color. I guess we just start dabbing in some irregular tree line. So it started out kind of separated, but as I do all this tapping, maybe it'll be easier to see if I do it slightly closer to the camera. It's very uneven. There are dark parts and light parts, and they don't make a uniform green color, which is the effect I'm going for. what forest is totally flat, matte black. But either way, the forest is growing. Just pick up their spot, and then this stuff will start mixing a little better. Maybe it's crawling up a little higher on the mountain over here. A few taller trees. It's also nice that this distribution of trees is a different shade than this, and a different shade than this. Every time I touch the palette, it comes back a little different, and I'm okay with that. A lot of trees. Let's reach a little higher, my friends. And just make a nice base tree line. Just one side black, one side with this vermilion color. And start trying to save the planet, trying to plant carbon capture things. Either way, a lot of trees. I mean, I like how dramatic the top half of this is. It's very dramatic. But, I don't know. Maybe we need to do something for this bottom part, because it's getting dark, and the plains and the features are starting to creep in a little closer. And, I don't know. This whole mountain range is, it's a bit dull. I mean, intentionally, but, maybe we need to do something about it. I don't know. Do something nice and shiny down here. I'm gonna dip the tip of this brush. It still has a whole bunch of paint on it, but I'm just gonna fit in the regular forest green. Just apply it in some places. Looks like I missed a spot. What the heck? Maybe there's a bit of greenery in the nice little corners here. Why the heck not? Running all along the bright side of this part of the ridge. Does that make sense, doesn't it? A tree would, plants would try to grow on only the spots that face the light. Just cut a bit of distant greenery. It's not all mountains are desolate, high up places. This forest green at the very tip of my brush, it's starting to dry out. It's alright, I'm just gonna some color there. Either way. It's a little tree line. Yeah. And it's off. Clean water, which is very much not clean anymore, but we don't talk about that. Anyway, here we go. So what to do next? Maybe I'll think about it while I add one more cloud to the side here. Water, just make it a little damp. I mean, always can't really go wrong with a nice little lake. Lakes are fan favorite. Just put a cloud there. Some of the lighter stuff. Just smushing it around. A little more white in that. I don't know. Ah, there we go. There we go. Just a little bit. And just a little bit. There. I wonder to do. I do have enough orange left to make a nice little lake. It would be kind of cute. Well, why not? I've been trying to ask myself more recently. Why not do something? He's a very, very nervous kind of guy when he was younger. Still am, I say, as I desperately try to get over it. But either way, I don't know. Maybe over the past year I've really gotten more open to trying interesting stuff. Dipping the brush in the water, and then grabbing just a little bit of stuff off there. And turn this corner with vertical strokes only to something of a lake. And we'll cover up the edges and do whatever we want it to do. For a moment, let me actually grab tiny streaks of white. Well, maybe that'll catch the the color that wasn't supposed to be there, but okay, just get all that off of there. Guess we'll have to get a new pile of white. This one dyed in spectacular fashion. It is covered in blue paint. There we go. Probably not going to need all of that, but I'm feeling dramatic and very hurt by the betrayal of my brush. Maybe we can salvage it. Oh, that's just fine. That's just fine. Wet that down a little bit. Put that down a bit, and then let me check something. Okay. And I guess I'm just gonna grab what's left of our sky and a little bit of white. But we want it to be streaky, so. The direct approach. That doesn't look so bad. Unless there'll be a nice curved edge to that. Now this isn't Bob Ross, you can't just pull down and swipe to the side, because this will all just smear straight across. Found out the hard way. It sucks. But let's just keep pulling this down there off to the edge, and then maybe the water will stop there. Maybe there'll be another nice little tree here, and then some bushes or green right there or something. I don't know. But I'm glad I made more orange than I needed. Because I needed it now. Either way. Let's get into it. And look at all this paint that's still on the brush. That's a little awkward. Having white on the brush is a lot better than having a bit of unseen black on the brush. It would be an unpleasant surprise. As unpleasant as looking for your black colored pencil only to find that it's like indigo or something. I don't know. But either way, let's grab a nice small brush. Something small. Something chiseled, maybe. Just go back with flat. Can't go wrong with the flat. Flat is justice, as some gentleman would say. Who knows? Anyway, I'm just gonna grab some of this, some brown here. Still got a bit of, still only partially mixed in with the white, but I can work with that. Actually, just gonna, so a nice shoreline comes right around. Shoreline comes right up. Forest line. That will cover in some more trees later, but I just want it to disappear, take up the shape. And here's where it actually gets near enough to have texture. So, texture, a landscape. There we go. Something like that. And it looks weird now. I mean, it'll always look weird, but I'm just gonna... That's a good thing a bit of white actually got onto the brush there, because that was my next step. This is how we're gonna mark it as... This is how we're gonna show where the direction of this this bank goes to. Goes right up to the edge and little ups and downs. It's uneven. It's all very fancy and symmetrical. And just gonna pull up and away. Oh. Over here on the opposite bank, it's a little more side to side. Just the tip of the brush. Nothing crazy. And it's a nice empty riverbank, I guess. Don't know how much I trust myself with just the knife and the acrylic. Maybe. Once I rinse off this brush. Do something about that. So we're actually gonna put this bad boy down. Both of these brushes are just a bit too skinny, so I may end up... Really depends how I want to approach this. Just a few water lines. Just tapping the top of this clod of white paint. Try not to have like a glob too far on one side or the other. Just creating little waves on the shore. This way. Sometimes just wiggling it up and down. It's actually turning out okay. Huh. Didn't think it would, but honestly, I'll take it. Nothing too crazy. I'm actually not going to go overboard with that. But that's just wipe off this white paint and get thinking about some details. Oh, what am I going to do here? I don't know. Got some blues and oranges. A lot of orange. A bunch of brown, a bunch of not very visible green. What to do? Let's grab a bit of brown again, and then we'll add some trees. Another tree or so. It just occurred to me that this is all very Halloween themed. A few months too early, or a few months too late, depending on if you're corporate America. I've already seen some Christmas stuff on the horizon. It's scary. Like, man, you guys just did back to school. Back to school isn't even over. We need to chill out. So I'm actually gonna take this big brush, wet it down a bit, and grab this rapidly drying pile of light brown, because I'm not really gonna use it anymore. I'm just gonna fill out the rest of this. Because why not? Why not? It's light brown. It's a pretty color. Something about brown eyes, man. Something about brown eyes. Well, let's just fill the rest of this space, and then it'll be this nice background color that will get covered by whatever. But at least the white of the paper behind it won't be showing. In case I miss a spot later. But either way, here we go. Just go right up to the tree line. Maybe some nice evening wildflowers would go nice there. Alright. Put a pause on the tree. Put a pause on that tree. I have an idea. First idea is to clean off this brush properly this time. Not let odd things pick up in it. Here we go. Just going to set this to the side. And we could make do with this, but it's different from the slightly bigger brother of the one I used to make the trees. And the trees are very far away. It's alright if those are a bit non-distinct and small. But this one, I'm actually gonna wait a second to wait for this coating of brown to dry. It's already almost dry, which is the nice part about acrylics. But you do need to wait for it. But in the meantime, take some nice colors. Still got a whole bunch of blue here. It's a nice green. It's a nice sunshiny grass. That sounds nice. Leave a bit of yellow there. Actually gonna go for a bit of this green. Actually gonna, it's very, very dark. Blend very quickly to this yellow. Yeah, I barely put any yellow in there, and it's already it's already gone. Speaking of already gone, I touched the palette again. So excited for my flower bed. This is what I get for not paying attention. Either way. Here we go. We're just gonna... The worst is when it gets under the fingernail. Can't really see because it's white. I'm not gonna lift my middle finger that that got affected, but oh well, even better. Paint pot on the mixer. Either way, if you stay clean as a painter and you're really doing your job, either way, just gonna put you to the side and a bit more yellow. By a bit, I mean, holy cow, that was actually a lot. But we're gonna keep going. It's actually alright if it doesn't mix perfectly, if it's all streaky. I do kind of like this nice vibrant look. Maybe it'll look a little odd next to all this dull and darkness, but I think it'll liven things up significantly. Either way, let's get going. But just in case, I'm gonna have a bit more yellow on the palette. I mean, it's wildflowers, you know? Can't really, do some yellow flowers in there too. Why not? Is this really the right tool for the job? Now that I'm thinking about it, I might be better suited going back into, fan brush 10. I'm actually just gonna do that. Wild grass. Trying to have too many straight lines, long straight lines. I want to look like lots of little fields, lots of patches of grass. I'm actually going to start from the back and just make my way forward, overlapping itself right up to the trees there. Nice vibrant green. I really like that. Reminds me of spring. Either way, it does look very nice and earthy once it's layered over top of this brown. That is nice. Some of the grass reaches down to the shore. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows? I'm not too crazy about specifics. It's okay if certain parts of this are thicker than others. Others aren't. And all this short grass coming up to the front here is actually going to look nice and make all those trees look very distant. So it looks like a field of grass. I'm just going to let this come right up to the edge here. Taller than before, but that's alright. Just lifting up with the fan brush. Nothing too crazy. Short grass. This is a lot more brighter yellow than the rest, but that's alright. Maybe it's closer to this sun angle. We don't mind. Just let it go up to the water in some places. Not cover up this transition area where the shore dirt turns into this matte painted black part here. So we'll just cover up the transition. Here I'm just tapping. There's very short grass all the way over here. Nothing too tall. It's more of like a sprinkling. Some of it comes down, some of it doesn't. Right? That's very nice. Oop. Yeah, that's a little. Maybe if I dip the corner in the darker green, there's still a bit of wet paint. Maybe this looks like this little bush. Mixing up there. And just put a little patch of something or other around here. Just kind of sort of hide it in there, sort of not. Just a hint of something or other. Maybe a different plant in there, maybe a weed. It's a bush or just a patch of different grass. just goes right over top of the other stuff. Nice and easy. Just a corner of the brush, and then covered back over it. One more right up here. It's the bottom of the thing. This one looks like a full-on bush. And that I can work with. That's a bush. Maybe. Some kind of flower bush? Some kind of berry bush? I don't know. Take the paint water off of that. Just rinse it off with clean water. Ah, that's starting to look nice and lovely and lively. I like that. I like where this is going. So, I've got some yellow here. I got a ton of blue. I could make a nice purple. So we're actually gonna see what I can salvage from large chunks of this orange first, and see what I can do with that. I'm gonna turn all this blue into it. Mostly because it needs to be used. But other than that... Alright, so there's actually a good chunk of green left in there. Actually, it's down a sink. Need to dump a good portion of red in there. At this point, I'm not even caring about wasting paint. I just want purple. I tried once, and I got dark blue. No, I want purple. Yes. Purple. And because no one can actually see what color that turned out to be, let's smear some of that off, and then grab some of the white. Let's see exactly what we got here. Well, looks like we got blue again. I'm not going to be deterred so easily this time. I want purple. Oh, I want purple so very badly. Now, the dingus in me is telling me I should have just bought purple paint to save the time, but where's the fun in that? Either way, there, we have purple now. It's a bit of an ordeal, but we made it. With some blue to spare, who'd have thunk it? Alright. Let's get to work. I have some yellow, I have some purple, I have some sap green, or hooker green, whatever that is. Just reading the bottle, man. A bunch of paint on my hands as well. You can work with that. You can work with that. Put you down there. Then take a very teeny tiny brush. Teeny tiny. This is like a number 2 pointy thing. I don't know what to call it. The pack, so I'm just gonna use that. And just in case, start with a dip of white. Take up some purple, but not too much. And just gonna double check that these are mostly dried off. Oh, the grass is definitely drying off. Actually, we're just gonna start tapping in patches and patches and patches of wildflowers. Just a nice little patch of them, blending in with the bushes, just like that. Just like the other. Maybe these are ground bushes. Round patches of wildflowers. And then here's my other small brush. Well, I'll do the yellows afterward. The yellow is a fair bit lighter, and it won't play well with the other stuff. So, there we go. Just gonna tip tap, tip tap. Tap along, maybe along the top of this set of bushes here. Nothing too crazy. We'll add some more definition to this patch over here. And I don't want to cover up all of this nice dark green on this this bush over here. Either way, purple, I'm gonna use it. Maybe one more patch of it. It's near the back here. There's a whole bunch of it. In the corner. Also, I am just covering up all of the little white spots that I that I left in this gap between the grass and the tree line. So covering it up in a dark color definitely helps. Ooh, there's another one. Don't mind me as I do the great con, the great cover up. Actual conspiracy thing in the painting. But the way that works. Actually gonna just straight up grab some yellow out of this pile. We're gonna do the exact same thing. Go off most of it. And I'm just gonna be in the same rough area as the purple. The yellow is a lot brighter, and it's going to. This isn't blending into the green either. It's going over top, and it's so thin that it's not really leaving a significant presence over top, so you can see most of the green, which I'm okay with, and which may end up coming in handy as I mix up these in purple flower patches. Why the heck not? There's some nice red flowers to go in there too. These ones I'm definitely more comfortable dragging out, making it look like more of a bush, or not a bush, but a field of it. Maybe all along this bank here, there's a whole bunch of yellow flowers, eh? Maybe there'll be some purple there, maybe there won't. But I'm having a good time. Hope you are as well, wherever and whenever you are. Honestly, I'm just vibing. I'm happy that I can have the time and the money, basically, to do this sort of thing. It brings me no small amount of joy, and if you're watching, I'm glad you came out and watched some talkative dude in his bedroom painting a silly little mountain. It brings you a little bit of joy too. Let's go ahead and start mixing and matching whatever the heck this purple thing was over here. Definitely very dark. Appreciate the contrast. Too dark for this plane of glass. There we go. Rinse that off. No hurry. Ooh. Alright, there's a bit of leftover red and white in here. I'm actually gonna stick my brush in there, see how dried it is. maybe see what's gonna happen if I tap it onto this bush here. It's a little berry bush. Or maybe it'll come off as a more pink color. I can work with that. There we go. Nice pink color. It's technically orange, but details. Just gonna that layer in to all the others. Well, not quite layer in, but just gonna a little bit of this green and start in some more distinct grass, I guess. Just pulling downward, just framing up these little flower patches. Take a little more of this forest green. Start to fade in the tree line into all of this lovely detail we've put out here. So, it's a little janky in some places, but that's alright. It's just in some places that it's a very sharp line across that separates it. Alright. This grass color back here, and mix it in with this purple over there. We don't get such an intense color with the dark on the grass. It's okay. Bit of a little lighter color, not quite so purple. Because all of it ended up really dark purple, so you know what? I'm gonna try it again, but with actually taking the white and actually trying to make a nice sundress color. We could all stand to wear a bit more purple. So that's pulled thin. And just a little bit. So my brush, the head of my brush is actually pulled flat. So this is the flat side, and then it's a bit angled. And I pull the paint through it. It's easier to see. I'm trying to have maybe, hopefully, it looks like all lavenders, maybe. And tall plants. Tall plants around here. There's patches of them. Just a little bit lighter than the others before. Pulling upward lightly. Nothing too crazy. Just a little bit. Okay. Well, looking at it from this angle, looking at the screen, I think that's just fine. Rinse this off. Clean water too. So, I could put a little tree here, maybe. Could, don't have to. Oh, right. I'm just gonna take this even smaller brush and dip it in the white. Actually do want some highlights on this side of the mountain or so. Doesn't have to be too crazy. Nothing too crazy, nothing too irregular, any of that. But I just want the edges of it to be seen. Spent all that time growing as well. May as well be seen. Just a little more white. Some more exposed areas. Pulling out from the edge. Like so. Oh, maybe just a teeny tiny little bit. Let's use one thing here. Across the top. Yeah. Those little highlights make all the difference, especially on top of all the dark spots and all that. Just keeping it subtle. Nothing too crazy. It really does look like a sunset. But from somewhere over there. That's nice. While we're at it with the white as well, these are parts of this are very much not dry. So you have to be a little careful with like these wispy bits. Wispy bits. Need a highlight here and there. Just the top parts of that. Not all of it, but around the crowns of it. The top. So, this brush is sort of drying it off, but that's alright. I want to pull it really thin so it doesn't actually show white over there. And a little lower, actually. Maybe strong a bit of it, making its way down here. There we go. That's nice. The simplest little highlights give so much dimension. Man, you could teach a course about this. Not that I went to art school. But that. I'm very tempted to go all out and start adding more and more and more to this thing, but maybe that's not as good of an idea as maybe I think it is. Maybe just a few more odd details here and there. Just a little bit. Take this dark brown. Just a few more. Just a few stronger dark lines. I think that'll work. Also, the paints are starting to dry on the palette. I've been forgetting to water them down, but honestly, I mean, we've been making them work. It hasn't been as catastrophic as I feared it would be, but either way, really that highlights very well next to the darker black parts. Bit by bit, I've really put some character into this mountain range. The black part's black, the white part's white. This lovely sepia, dark brown to certain spots, not others. Every part gets its day in the sun. That's nice. Oh, I love it already. maybe just one more little detail to do with these forests here. Take maybe half of what's left of this dark green. This dark green is going to go far because it is dark. And I grab a bunch of white. Let's see what we can make with that. Get green into there. Just a little. Do you want a green, not a mint green? Well, I guess we're taking all of the green. Right? All it needs to be is just a little lighter. A bit of this colorful yellow-green. Just for some character. Okay. Wipe that off. And we'll take the smallest brush. This is a number 0. Guess paintbrushes go by programmer notation. Start at 0. Start at 0. Just a few upward strokes. Just going back and forth in zigzag diagonals. Starting with the parts that are further back. The paint run out and really get a scrappy kind of covering. It doesn't have to be all sorts of. It doesn't have to be a flat coating or covering of this lighter color. And this tall part, we're just going to let it go in every direction. That's a big tree. Anyway, I'm being careful to only get this top line of it, because maybe there's another mountain range off to the side, and that's where the setting sun, last little light is coming from. Maybe they don't quite reached into here. These trees reach all the way up the side of the mountain. That hill. Just the top of the trees down here. Since this is all rough and tumble and all that, we water this off, take off the paint and the water, and just take off some of it, the parts that haven't already dried. Anyway, doesn't look so bad. Nice relaxing place to, I don't know, rent a boat, go fishing maybe. I love the bold skies and then these, not quite contrasts, but things that complement, don't take you out of it at all. Well, I think with that, I'm going to call it a stream. So, thank you all for watching. People who showed up live, people who didn't, it's alright. If you watch the video afterwards, that's totally fine. We're just here to paint. But yeah. Oh, dang. First time on YouTube, so I gotta remember, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on Twitter, it's there at the bottom of the screen. Maybe this will show up on Instagram, I don't know. I've got the account, may as well. But other than that, hope you all have a wonderful day. Happy painting, and take care.